place in the next round. And at the same time, of course, Vietnam are taking on Cambodia. Vietnam, remember, they have to win, and if they want to finish top of the group, they have to better the result here for Indonesia. So there are a few permutations available. We'll be keeping you in touch with the other game as well, being held simultaneously at the Bishan Stadium. Plenty of fans in the house. This has generated a lot of interest. Even before the tournament started, this was one that was marked out in the calendars. And there are lots of yellow jerseys on one side, red on the other. The crowd getting warmed up a few minutes ago, and they were responding brilliantly. It is magnificent in here. Only 10,000 allowed at the National Stadium because of COVID-19 restrictions. Here are the two teams making their way out. Let's get a quick thought from the man with me here in the commentary position, who's been licking his lips in anticipation of this one, Roshan Rai. Can't wait for this one, Roshan.
An absolute privilege to be here to cover this game, and I'm really looking forward to this. A massive game. Both these sides know exactly what's at stake here. For Malaysia, it's simple, isn't it? They have to win. For Indonesia, they can take fewer risks. They can see how it goes. They can play on the counter-attack a little bit. And we saw against Vietnam, they know how to keep a clean sheet. They know how to be disciplined. They know how to be aggressive. They know how to fight this Indonesian side. And it's such an exciting young team with a big, bright future ahead of them. But this is a massive test. This is where they can take that next step in terms of the development, seeing out the result, getting the result that takes them through into the AFF Suzuki Cup semi-final. What an exciting 90 minutes plus of football we're going to have here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is in stark contrast to the match we had yesterday, where Singapore and Thailand were already through to the semi-final, so a little bit less in it. And there were selection issues as well for Thailand. And when we look at the team selection here today, both these teams certainly mean business.
The national anthem of Malaysia.
It may only be 20% full here at the stadium, but listen to that noise. These are some of the most fanatical supporters you will find in the region. And let's look at the starting lineup for Malaysia. They make 4 changes to the side that were convincingly beaten by Vietnam. The one to look out for, the number 2 there, Dion Cools, flew in from Europe just 4 days ago. He goes straight into the lineup. Junior Elstal is also restored to the starting lineup. Koglaswaran Raj is also in, as is Faisal Halim, who had that COVID-19 problem at the start of this campaign. It is a new centre-back pairing, remember, because Aidil Zafwan had a hamstring problem. He hobbled off in the game. So did Shaul Saad. He's on the bench. And so Mahagiri has to settle for a place on the bench, as does Lukman Hakim. And on the bench, well, this is the biggest bench we've seen actually for Malaysia so far in this tournament. Because of COVID-19 and players not being available at time, they finally have a full complement. The referee today from Bahrain, as is his first assistant, Amar Ibrahim Hassan. And there are the two skippers. Badro Bakhtiar taking the armband today from Aidil. For Indonesia, they make just the one change to the side that had that valiant point against Vietnam, the goalless draw in that one. And in comes Ramai Rumakiek, the youngster, drafted in for this absolutely massive game. And clearly it would appear that Shin Tae-yong is fairly happy with what he's seen. He's gone for a pretty attacking formation here, a 4-4-2. And the man who misses out is Rizky Ramadhani. But they are going with a 4-4-2 today. Irianto, who normally sits in front of the back four, is moving into the middle of the park today with Ricky Kambuaya. And yes, there you go, Rizky Ridho Ramadhani, who was actually one of the most impressive players in that match against Vietnam. He has to settle for a place on the bench. There's also there on the bench Elkan Baggett, who was in quarantine, wasn't he, until yesterday for a COVID-19 incident on his plane, but he would be available later on in this competition. There is still no sign of Egy Maulana, who there were varying reports about whether he would be available for this one. Some mind games playing by Shin Tae-yong earlier in the picture. Tan Cheng Ho said, let's not get the media into our heads. Let's focus on the game instead. How do you see this one playing out, Roshan? Because Malaysia have to go for it from the off.
Yeah, they do. They certainly do. This Malaysian side, they have to go for it, but at the same time, it's not going to be a situation where you want to take too many risks too early on and open yourselves up to opportunities to lose out on the counter-attack, and give Indonesia those opportunities in those counter-attacking situations, because there's plenty of pace in this side. You look at Irfan Jaya and Ramai Rumakiek in those wider positions. They have got pace to burn. Witan Sulaiman just playing in just behind Ezra Walian in these phases out of possession. So it's almost like they set up in this 4-2-3-1 off the ball, and perhaps when they are in possession it'll be a 4-4-2 somewhat, with Witan Sulaiman given that license just to drop off in spaces in behind this Malaysian midfield. It's going to be so important for Badro, who's shielding that defense, the number 8, the veteran in there, to make sure he's keeping track of the spaces that Witan Sulaiman is looking to go and try and push himself into, because he could be a player that causes lots and lots of issues for this Malaysian side if he's given space to turn in behind that Malaysian midfield.
How impressed were you with the discipline shown by Indonesia? As we come back to that in a minute, here's Ezra Walian. Because they changed things up, didn't they? And there
was a tug there from Dion Cools on Witan Sulaiman. The game is so open at the moment, and it's incredible. I mean, listen, I think there was some doubt about whether Indonesia would come out and really attack this Malaysian side. We're seeing that they are. You know, it's not a case of them just sitting back.
You know what, Shin Tae-yong addressed that, didn't he, as that force of Koguswan Raj. Oh, he's got the shot in! What a goal that is! Koguswan Raj has opened the scoring for Malaysia out of the blue.
That's a superb finish from Kogileswaran. What a start for Malaysia here. A quick throw and an intelligent run in behind from Shafiq Ahmad that really starts it off. It's a poor clearance, you could say. And perhaps if you want to be hypercritical here, you can say it is slow to close down that shot from range, Rahmat Irianto. But that is pure quality. Wonderful camera angle on that replay. Kogileswaran, take a bow. What a finish.
Well, he had a superb celebration for his first ever international goal just a few days ago, and look at that one. his second of this tournament. But here come Indonesia again. Irfan. Good work by Faisal Halim. Is he through here? Witan Sulaiman. Squared it. Brilliant. Indonesia right back in there. Through Irfan.
Oh, they've deserved it. They've responded really well. And how big is that miss from Shafiq now? Indonesia have equalized. Wonderful move. Look at that, they're patient in possession. They pass it around, they wait for the right opportunity to arrive. Pick it up in midfield. He's onside. That's a wonderful run from Witan Sulaiman, looking right across that defensive line. He's aware of his position. He makes absolutely sure to keep himself onside. I mean, this pass and this leave from Rahmat. The first pass from Rahmat, that dummy from Ricardo Kambuaya. And then the finish in the end from Irfan Jaya. Look at how many players they had in those advanced positions.
It is amazing how the noise has shifted from one side of the stadium to the other. And now it's the red half who are loving it. Nine minutes left, Roshan. I don't want this to end, I have to say.
Look, this
has been the best game for me so far.
Brilliant. Wonderful. I mean,
everything about it, right?
I know I'm being hyperbolic a little bit. Excuse me that. Forgive me for that, but I can't help myself. It's a credit to...
Still Pratama. He's ridden the challenge. Pratama. He's still going, Pratama. Can they finish this? Yes, they can! It's number 2 for Irfan and Indonesia.
Wonderful work again. Wonderful work. 19 years of age, Pratama. Look at this driving run. Straight through the heart of that Malaysian defense. Yes, they get a little bit fortunate, a couple of deflections going their way. But they've been at it since conceding. The response has been incredible. You know, we've been talking about mentality a lot.
Had an issue with COVID, but all good now. Oh, what a shot that is! From distance! It dipped on Khairul Fahmi! And Pratama has made it 3.
Wow. Pratama Arhan. He has been excellent for Indonesia. So positive with his play, so confident. This is technically such a brilliant strike. The way he hits it, and all the criticisms out there will be it's straight down the middle of the goal. Can't Khairul Fahmi save that one? But it's the pace of the hit and it's the technique of that strike. You just have a look at how he hits it. He sets himself up. A late challenge comes in. He doesn't take his focus or eyes off the ball. Shafiq Ahmad with...
Thought of the natural left backs. And Timnas. Oh, they've got the 4th goal! And it's the big man, Alkan Bagat. Well, now surely the 3 points will go to Indonesia. Joyous scenes.
Sorry, what was interesting for me as the goal went in, yes, there were celebrations on the bench, but straight away you had one of the assistants. Well, let me talk about this goal first. Alkan Bagat, the delivery from Ivan Dimas, his quality, right on his head. Khairul Fahmi, again, the decision making in that situation. Does he have to come out and punch? Can he stay on his line? Is Alkan Bagat being marked? He is. But he backs himself. He thinks he's going to come out and meet that Khairul Fahmi. Instead, Alkan Bagat's the one who gets his head on it with that height advantage. Back in the squad, back in the team. And I think Indonesia...
With Quentin Cheng. Well done there to Kambuaya. Yabes Roni. Now the new man, Hannes. Oh, that's a delightful ball by Witan. And it's over, hits the crossbar from Evan Dimas. But it's a fitting way to end what has been by far the most entertaining, enthralling game we've had at the AFF Suzuki Cup 2020.
Fantastic from Indonesia. Irfan Jaya celebrating there. Pratama as well on his knees, thumping the badge on his chest. What a wonderful performance from this young, exciting, talented Indonesian side. They've been so good to watch. That fight, that intensity, the desire that they play with, but the technical quality as well to back that all up. Really, really brilliant.
Scoreline. It has been an emphatic victory. The final score here at the National Stadium in this last group game match in Group B. It's Malaysia 1, Indonesia 4. Well, celebrations in the stands, on the pitch. They're absolutely delighted, the Indonesians, at getting through. Dejection, of course, for Malaysia, who surely would have fancied their chances this evening. And they'll go over now to greet and thank their fans. There is the Indonesian bench at the moment, and their fans, their competition has been extended. And now the man of the match award is going to go to Pratama. Your thoughts on that one, Roshan?
Yeah, I think deserved. You know, I think he's had a really lively game, very energetic down that left-hand side, wonderful quality on the ball, had some really good runs forward with it, dribbling through that Malaysian defense, and of course a cracking goal to give Indonesia that nice little cushion.
Well, Indonesia had so many attempts on that. Look at that, 23 attempts. 7 of them a target. Malaysia could only make 7 attempts today, and that is where the difference was between the two sides. So this is how it stands in Group B. What a night of goals there were, not only here but of course in Bishan Stadium. But it's Indonesia who stunningly go top of Group B. They end the group stages at the top. Not many people would have thought it. They edge out Vietnam, and they will take on Singapore in the semi-finals. It's Vietnam-Thailand. Many people thought that would be the final, but we will take a breath. You do too, and we look forward to joining you next week in the semi-finals. From me, Shazad Haq and Rish Roshan Rai, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you again soon.